Episode 7. Now, in this episode 7, we're looking at apply styles and classes to the HTML. Okay, so here we're seeing that we're to open this file. Let me get something that's a bit thicker. Okay, we're to open this file, and we're also going to open this file, right? And now in this Ajiro Tech system, we're to change um, the styles from the paragraph style, okay, and we're to change it to what style H1. So it's going to be this, and the closing tag is going to be this. Sorry, now this should be a forward slash. Good. So now let's do it. So I'm going to open this Ajiro Tech 6. Right click, open with Microsoft Expression Web 4. And I'll look for my name right here. Okay, the start of the body, yes. Okay, for the body, good. Okay, so that has been done already. Now locate throughout the document each paragraph that has an ID, attribute like this, and paragraph, and then change it to P2. Okay, so essentially that was what we did, and we're just explaining it in this episode 7 what we did. Okay, and we're able to make a list. So this was what we had at the end of the day. So let's review the work. This was what we had at the end of the day. So we had the list. um we had the list here, as much as possible. For some reason we're not having, something is missing here. They said what? Let's see. I know we did that in episode 6. They said um it's indented by 50 pixels from the left edge, which is the left margin. So I'm expecting this to be a style. Okay, so this is margin left, and this 50 pixels. Okay, so I'm going to save this. So if I come here and I refresh, so that's giving me 50 pixels. So for some reason that should have been done, and I know that, okay, that was probably done in episode 6. They said, okay, change each of this item from the paragraph list, from the paragraph style to list style, by placing what? This opening tag and this closing tag, and with the list here and also the list closing tag. Okay, now they said keywords from a search engine. When this is saved and open a browser, the bulleted list appears over the left of the body text. Okay, um and you have been instructed to indent the bullet list by 50 from the edge. So this could be completed by adding a style attribute to each of the list tag, to the list tag, but that would require you to enter style information 6 times. See that? So we can actually do it here by imputing it here, and we can do it 6 times, right? But again, that would mean you have to put it 6 times. So rather than doing this repeatedly, okay, you can use a single division. This is where the div tag comes in, and then you can place the div, opening tag of div and closing tag of div, around the bulleted list, and then you can add the style attribute, which has its declaration as what? Margin left, and then the value 50, which is what we did here, so this is very important. Oh, oh, I knew there was an error somewhere. It keeps showing this, so this is because of this. Sorry, something was wrong here. Okay, so that's fine. So I'm going to save. It's always important to check why that is giving me this. So if I Um, refresh. So this is better. Okay, so this is better. Let's see what else again. So it's not showing. It's not showing up. But if I close it and open it, it's not going to be there. Let me close it and let me open it again. So most time we might have to close and open it again when we are very sure that we've removed all the errors. So when you see an underline yellow, a highlighted yellow, it simply means that there's an error that you probably need to check. Okay, it's drawing your attention to it. Okay, so sorry about that. Again, I hope that was not the issue for episode 6. If it was, well, you're in luck. You're in episode 7. So, way okay. So apply a class to element within the web page. Okay, apply a class to element within a web. So how do we apply a class? So for us to do that, to set each occurrence of the text HTML to the class called read, we cannot use a div tag, as this would place a line break in the text, and each time the text appears, it is within and each time the text HTML appears, it is within a sentence. Find the first HTML, okay, in the document. To make the text go red, we place the anchor tag. This is what I've explained already in um, episode 6. So this is more or less explaining the whole process for you, okay, around the HTML. And then we use the class attribute. So here you're having the anchor tag here, you're having class equals to, and then you have the red that has been assigned to it. Now take note that this already, you see something like this. This already must have been created with the star have been created, which is what? A dot red. Hope that we'll talk about it, right? I'm not going to rush you, but we're going to talk about it, okay? And we use the class attribute followed by the class name. So we have something like this. And locate the final sentence and change the tag from paragraph tag to what? Style H3, which is going to be like this. Okay, so apologies for my forward slash. Okay, this is it here, right here. So apologies for that. So if you look at this, you would see that we're having this right here. So you see that here is the last one is H3, which is the final sentence. And let's see, we have, okay, so I think just, okay, I think that's better. H3, and which other one again? Then for the class, yes, I said I want to show you the class. So you probably see the class here, the one that has HTML. Where is it? Let me see. Um, question. Okay, I think this should be. Let me see question 19. Okay, no, it's not it. Let me check. Okay, so for some reason it wasn't. I don't think I saved it, but I'm very sure I did it in episode 6. But I'm just gonna do it here anyway. So I have this. Sorry, class, and this is going to what? It's going to be red. Okay, and this is going to be this, and I'll save this here. Um, and I'm going to preview. For some reason, it should give me red. Yes, it did give me red. So yeah. Okay, so I think that is that. Is there any other thing I didn't do that wasn't saved? Let me see. For this episode 6. Yeah, I think hyperlink. I think the last this was the only thing. The whole table was centered. The whole table. Yes, I think that was done as well. Okay, so let's go ahead. So this is very important, really. Okay. Now let's move on to the next thing. Use style sheet. Using styles in your web page helps you to be what? Consistent in the way the page looks. This is very important. So using styles is much quicker. Okay, it's much quicker and easier than applying what individual what settings, right? Such as the font face, the font size, the text alignment. Of course, you know that the font face talks about is it going to be safe? Is it going to be Calibri? Is it going to be safe, sans safe? You're having other ones we're going to look as well. Other properties we're going to look as well, and you would see them. Okay, we have the font sizes, which is in point. You have text alignment, and we have them as left, right, center, and justified. We have the font colors, and the font colors are in what, in hex, right, hexadecimals. Okay, to every piece of text in each web page that you create. You've already met the heading styles, which are h1 to h6, and the paragraph style, which is p, earlier in the slide. When you use the styles, the web page did not find um, any of the style definitions in your HTML markup, so it uses own default settings. However, we can set our own definitions for each styles, and the web browser will attempt, please take note of that, will attempt to apply these changes or these styles to the page. When we customize it, it's going to attempt to apply what we want to what we want to see. Okay, styles are not only for text. Please, let's take note. They are not only for text, but can also be used to define, take note of that, right? But can also be used to what? Define the page layout. So it's not just only for text. We'll see as we keep going, you probably see how we use it to define the page layout. And again, not just the page layout, color scheme. You can use to apply colors and even default settings for other what? Objects. Okay. And not only that, even links to the page. Using a consistent style is often important to give a corporate feel to a website. So this simply means, what about a corporate feel? It means that every organization, if you go to all these top organizations, every organization has a website that has a corporate feel to it. This is very important. They have a way that they need to style it. They have a way they need to array the website is being made up of, right? That gives the slang of what they represent, or they give the logo, the motto of what they represent, right? I know I use the word slang because again, there's some corporations that have this little bit of slang, but it's not anything towards native words, but more especially these are what the organization represent, and it is important that every organization has a website that is tailored towards a corporate field. We've looked at chapter 17. We looked at chapter 14, styles. We'll talk about what corporate house style is. And every corporation has the way that they want their website to represent that field, represent what to represent what to represent kind of what they are. For example, we have Microsoft, we have Google, we have Apple. When you go to their website, you see that when you go into your website, you know that you're in Apple, you know you're in Microsoft. There is that corporate feel that you know, okay, anything you do is probably tailored towards what they represent. Particular elements such as color schemes, okay, table presentations, logos, font faces are often used to aid what recognition of what well-known what companies of or what of brands. So when you go to the website, you see that all these things that I've talked about, color scheme, table presentation, logos, font faces, are part to helping the this is Microsoft, this is Google, this is Apple, okay, Pinterest, right, Amazon. Okay, so this is very important. While style can be set with the HTML tags, normally they are defined in the presentation layer. Yes, we can have them embedded. This means what? Embedded CSS. Okay, you've already talked about embedded some presentation elements in the HTML using the style attribute. These are called the inline styles. We can call them inline styles, or we can call them embedded CSS. So please take note. Styles may also be defined in the head section a lot, and you're like, okay, do you have a private tuition? Don't you have? Do you have? And yes, Ajiro Tech do have a private tuition. So by my right, you can see that we have for the EdXL and Cambridge IGCSE, and yes, we do have for all subjects. Okay, all subjects. Okay, the popular ones that's always been in demand is mathematics, English language as a second language. Okay, we have physics, we have biology, we have chemistry, and we have um, you know the flagship, which is ICT, just here and there. We also have business studies. So if you're interested for a private tuition, I think all you have to do is send an email to the sales team at ajirotech@gmail.com, and they would reply to you, talk about your time zone, talk about, and the fee is really quite affordable. Really, it's really quite affordable. It's when you look at it across other tutoring service, I think this is the one that's quite affordable, and you get the very best of service. We also have for the E levels as well, and also for the EdXL. So we have for the Cambridge E levels and EdXL E levels. Okay, and we have also across the subject mathematics, which is usually the hot cake when it comes to E level, mathematics and chemistry, and then biology. These are usually one of the ones we have in demand always, all the time. Even physics, for E level. So all you have to do, if you're watching this right now and you are interested for a private tuition, then you can do yourself a solid, okay, and send an email to the sales team at ajiro@gmail.com, and they will reply to you. And the good news about this is, what I've discussed with the sales team is, we've tried as much as possible to see how we can subsidize the amount according to countries, so it doesn't really look very, very heavy. Okay, so so this is really important. Yes, we do charge in pounds, but again, we try to be as much as possible considerate to your countries, and we don't just skyrocket the price. No, because at the end of the day, we know how it feels, and we really want you to actually get the best of service, and again, be able to afford it from the comfort of your home. So again, Ajiro Tech private tuition is currently ongoing. You can enroll yourself for the IGCSE, and then for the E levels. Again, for the IGCSEs, these are the subjects, and for the E levels, these are also the subjects. So again, what are you waiting for? Just send an email to the sales team. If you're an IGCSE student preparing for IGCSE, if you're watching this in 2025, when this is in 2026, when this is 2027, we're currently ongoing, and this is actually a good time for you to actually explore, and then get it tailored to your own needs. So trust me, you don't want to miss out, okay, of a web page or defined in an external style sheet. Now take note, if style sheet are used, the style sheet is what attached to the web page, okay, in the head section of the markup. As we've already seen, styles can be applied individually to each page. But it's more efficient to write, edit, and attach one or more common style sheets to all pages in a website. Now, the collection of styles saved in different files is what we call .css, which means cas. Cascading, the C means cascading, the S there means styles, and the other S means what? Sheet. Okay. When it is in the head section, when we have them defined in the head section, okay, we is seen as what? Internal styles. Internal styles. And then we have what? The external. Right? We have the external, or what? The attached what? Styles. So when it's been attached, it is seen as what? External styles or style sheet. Yeah, standard style sheet. Okay, let's talk about the characteristics of a cascading style sheet. A cascading style sheet is a simple way of adding styles. That's one way to look at it. If you ask what's a cascading style sheet, it's just a simple way of adding styles. So the question is, what kind of styles? For example, we have the fonts. Okay, we see that one is a simple way of adding styles, and we have the fonts, the colors, and the spacing to web pages. That is just what we're talking about. So simple ways of adding styles, and examples of them, of those styles that we are adding, are the fonts, the colors, the spacing, as much as possible. One or more of this cascading style sheet can be attached to web page. So not just one, we can have multiple attached to a web page. Now, the styles in the style sheet will be applied to the page. Now, please take note, this is very important. Where more than one page is used, the styles will only have to be defined once and then attached to all the web page. So once you define it once, you can just attach it, attach it, attach it, attach it, and that is the beauty. It makes your work so easy. Okay, inline styles is defined within the HTML. But take note about this. If we have an inline style defined within the HTML, it usually overrides, right, styles attached from an external style sheet. So if you have them embedded, right, it is going to override the one you have attached, because the one in the body takes prerequisite or take precedence, right words, takes precedence over the one you've attached. It takes priority. So please note that. So it's important for you to always check your code to ensure that, okay, do I have an embedded embedded CSS, embedded style sheet? If I have an embedded style, what kind of embedded styles? Is it colliding? Is it colliding with the attached one? Okay, if more than one style sheet is attached to a web page at the same time, those attached later in the markup have priority over earlier ones. Now I'm going to explain what this means really, so you probably have an understanding. So it simply means that if I attached star, okay, let me give an example. I attached star 1. Now I attach star 2. This is going to take precedence over this. That's what we're simply saying. So these two will take priority over what? The one. Okay, so this is very important. If a star has more than one declaration of the same properties, the last value is used for the properties. Now this is very important. So if a star has more than one declaration, so you are declaring of the same property. No, the last one, the last value is what we're going to use. So this is very important. So now let's explain this. The CSS syntax. Now it has a selector and a declaration block like this. So the structure of the CSS syntax. Now CSS rules. Now pause whatever you're doing. Give me your attention because I'm about to explain this for you. Now the CSS rules have a selector and a declaration block like this. Now this is very important. Now this is your selector because I'll be using keywords. Now this right here is your selector, and this is why you have to follow through this episode, because if you just jump into any of the episode, you probably get confused, right? So this right here is what we call selector. What you call your HTML element is called a selector. Now each declaration has what? A property and what? A value. Obviously this is a no-brainer. This means red, right? And if you've watched the previous episode, you probably know why it is red, because again this means what? RGB. And each, so what separates the declaration is what we call what? The semicolon. So the semicolon is what separates what? Both of them, right? Here you have what? The semicolon. Okay, from one declaration to another declaration. Now please take note that each declaration have what we call a property, and then have what we call what? A value. Okay, so this is very important. Now there are certain things here we want to talk about. Now each element has one or more declaration is separated by a semicolon. Check. Each declaration has a property name and a value, and is what is separated by what, a colon. So you can see that, right, that each of these declarations has property name and a value, property name and a value, and it is separated by what we call what, a colon. Check. And each declaration block is surrounded by what we call a curly bracket. Is surrounded by what we call what, a curly bracket. Check. Okay. To make the CSS is easier to read, you can put one declaration on each line. So you probably see me do something like this. So this simply means that I am making it what, easier to read. Some teachers will probably want to do like this, right? And then probably do like this. Okay. And we probably just want to do this. Literally, we probably want to do this kind of, oh, let me just write it here. So then maybe like this, right? We probably want to do this, right? But I prefer this because this becomes what, easier. Again, you still get the same mark, literally. So it's not like I'm doing something different. Teacher is doing something like, oh, Mr. Child did this. No, as long as it has all the selectors, the declaration, you would get your mark. Okay, so let's look at this. Question 20. Open a copy of the web page that you saved in question 3. Add an external style sheet to this page to define the table header and table data so that each have what, a solid border 4 pixels wide. So let me open question 20. Let me open question 20. Where is it? Question 20 here. Open with. Okay. So I'm going to preview this. So I have this. Now let's look at this. It said, so each what? They said what? Let me look at this. They said what? To define the table header and table data so that each has a solid 4 pixels wide. Now look at this. So here in my TH, okay, so I've added the border to define the table header and table data. So what I did was just the table, or just for the table, but I'm to define it in table header and table data. So let me do that. So here I'm going to have separated by this. Okay, so I have border, okay, 4 pixels solid, and I have this as well, style, right, equals to border, okay, 4 pixels solid, and I'll save this. Now to save, if I come here, okay, good, so this is looking more like it. So again, table header and table data. So I'm going to add this here as well. So this is going to be semicolon border 4 pixels solid, border 4 pixels solid, border 4 pixels solid, border 4 pixels solid. Okay, so I'm going to do that again here. Border 4 pixels solid, and I know most of you are looking at me with the eye. I can literally see that eye. Just copy and paste, Mr. Jaro. Just copy and paste. Good. Okay, so your wish is my command. Done. Happy now? Yes. Okay. I could see your faces literally. Okay, so I have this. Okay, so what else here? I'm gonna have this. Okay, so I'm going to save this, and then right here I'm going to refresh. Good. So that's what we have here across board. Now the element name in this case is what have we done? We did this in what? In the TD, which is the table data, and what? The TH. Now let's look at this. Now the TD also has the foot and also has the T body. Okay, so this is very important, and are followed by what? A curly bracket. Right now look at this. So, oh sorry, we have to add an external style sheet to this page to define. Oh, okay, so this is what we're going to do. So sorry about this. Okay, so probably the face is not for this, it's also something else. So let's add the external style sheet. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create an external style sheet, and then we're going to save it here. So I'm going to click on file, click on new, then CSS, and right here I'm going to do TD. Okay, TD comma th, and then I have my curly bracket here, and then I have my border. Okay, so the border here is going to be 4 pixels solid. Okay, so this is what we have. Now we need to save this, so I'm going to save this here. So save as, I'm going to save it in the desktop. The files is in the desktop. Okay, so I'll save it here, and I'll probably call this question 20 attach CS style sheet, right? Okay, that's probably what I'll call it. And I would, let me just copy this. There will be a need for it. I'm going to save this. Now look at this. So it has the extension here. Literally, for most of you, let me close this so you probably just see what I'm doing. So this has what we call this .css is there. Okay, the .css is there. So I'll come here now and I'll take this off. So this is just the embedded. As you can see, it's the same thing. This is just the embedded. But watch what I would do when I take this off. Undo, sorry. Okay, so let me take this off. Okay, and don't worry, I'm almost done. Now if you're wondering, I'm using control and backspace to delete them word by word. Okay, so I think I've made it over here. Okay, so now one has to be careful when we are removing these things, because I think I've removed something. The T body is not showing me what it should. Okay, so let's find out why is the T body showing me this. What did I do wrong? Okay, I think I fixed it. So let me save it. I think I fixed it, and let me open it again. Um, let me close it and then open it again. Question 20. Let me open it again to see if that has been fixed. If not, it's still going to show me that error. Okay, it has been fixed. Now here, this is what we are going to do. Now we've created the style sheet. Now what are we doing next here? If I'm going to refresh this, this is what it's going to give to me. So I still have this here for my th, right? So I'm going to remove this. Okay, so I have this. Now, if I save my work and I come here, this is, we're back to square one, literally. Now, one of the things I want to show you here is this. Do I have it here? Okay, good. Now I want to explain this and then show you how to do this before we look at it. Now look at this. It said save styles in cascading style sheet format. A lot, and you're like, okay, do you have a private tuition? Don't you have? Do you have? And yes, Ajiro Tech do have a private tuition. So by my right, you can see that we have for the EdXL and Cambridge IGCSE, and yes, we do have for all subjects. Okay, all subjects. Okay, the popular ones that's always been in demand is mathematics, English language as a second language. Okay, we have physics, we have biology, we have chemistry, and we have um, you know the flagship, which is ICT, just here and there. We also have business studies. So if you're interested for a private tuition, I think all you have to do is send an email to the sales team at ajirotech@gmail.com, and they would reply to you, talk about your time zone, talk about, and the fees really quite affordable. Really, it's really quite affordable. It's when you look at it across other tutoring service, I think this is the one that's quite affordable and you get the very best of service. We also have for the E levels as well, um, and also for the EdXL. So we have for the Cambridge E levels and EdXL E levels. Okay, and we have also across the subject mathematics, which is usually the hot cake when it comes to E level, mathematics and chemistry, and then biology. These are usually one of the ones we have in demand always, all the time, even physics, for E level. So all you have to do, if you're watching this right now and you are interested for a private tuition, then you can do yourself a solid, okay, and send an email to the sales team at ajiro@gmail.com, and they'll reply to you. And the good news about this is, what I've discussed with the sales team is, we've tried as much as possible to see how we can subsidize the amount according to countries, so it doesn't really look very, very heavy. Okay, so this is really important. Yes, we do charge in pounds, but again, we try to be as much as possible considerate to your countries, and we don't just skyrocket the price. No, because at the end of the day, we know how it feels, and we really want you to actually get the best of service, and again, be able to afford it from the comfort of your home. So again, Ajiro Tech private tuition is currently ongoing. You can enroll yourself for the IGCSE, and then for the E levels. Again, for the IGCSEs, these are the subjects, and for the E levels, these are also the subjects. So again, what are you waiting for? Just send an email to the sales team. If you're an IGCSE student preparing for IGCSE, if you're watching this in 2025, when this in 2026, when this is 2027, we're currently ongoing, and this is actually a good time for you to actually explore, and then get it tailored to your own needs. So trust me, you don't want to miss out. Save this file using the file name Ajiro Tech 2.css. Now I want to check if Ajiro 2.css has been created. Ajiro 2.css. So I have done that already. Let me open with Microsoft Expression Web 4. So what I will do here is I'm just going to copy this content and then paste it here, right? And I'm going to save it because this is literally what is there. And I'm going to close this one. Okay. Now the next thing is, It is, of course, don't forget we're saving this in the same folder, okay, as your web page. Note, make sure that you use the .css file extension. So what I did here, and I'll probably just show you, when you want to create your CSS, file new, file new, CSS. Once you're creating a CSS and you want to save it, file, save as, you don't need to put .css again, because this save as web page, this save as type is already .css. The only time you probably need to put .css is if you're using a text editor. Please take note, if you're using a text editor, because this is one of the issues that I had to deal with consistently. You only put .css if you're using what? A text what? Editor. But if you're using a WYSIWYG way, what you see is what you get. If you go to file new CSS, you don't need to put it. Even if you remove that .css and you type it, it's still going to save it as what? .css. Now, how do we attach it? Now, in the HTML window, we add this line of text below the title tag in the head section. And I want to explain this. Let me probably zoom in so we can explain this. Now, we have what we call the link tag. Yes, we have what we call what? The link tag. We use the link tag for it. Okay, we use the link tag for it. Now, the link tag have what we call the hypertext reference, and this is what we are going to reference. Remember, this is what? A relative what? File path. Okay, now this shows what we call the relationship. So the rel is short for what? Relationship, and it defines the relationship between the current document and the link resource. So it's defining the current relationship between this, right, which is the link resource, and your current document, which is your HTML. And this type here is simply showing us what? This is a text, and the extension for this is what? CSS. Are we getting this? Are we getting this? Okay. Now, using the relative file path for attached style sheet, make sure you do not put an absolute address in a hyperlink reference. If you do this, this will be marked wrong. I am saying it right now. This will be marked wrong, as this is only likely to work on your computer. Other computers are unlikely to have the same file structure and file name. So the link with the relative file path is attached to the web page, so when the page is opened or refreshed, the browser searches for the file, which is this, and applies the same styles from this file to what? The web page. The file name in this line of markup must match the CSS file that you have saved. So it's not like you're having Ajiro Tech 2 and then you put in Ajiro Tech 3. It's not going to work. So you probably need to know that. This is very important. You probably need to know that. Okay, so let's look at now. I'll probably talk about this and then we go ahead. They said using external style sheet saves you a lot of time. One style sheet can be attached to many web pages, and one style can be attached to what? Every element on those pages with what? Little effort. Now you saw what I did, and it was probably stressful. Okay, it was probably stressful because I had to add it one. And yes, most of you think probably maybe it's a mistake. But again, you've seen how stressful I had to go through to have to type it on the table header and then the table data. If I'm using an attached style sheet, I don't have to do all that. Okay, so here, what I'm going to do here is right here on question 8, after this, I'm going to add what? A link. Now, this link here, I'm going to do what? Hyperref. And the hyperref is going to be what? Ajiro Tech 2 dot what? CSS. So that's what I'm using. Okay, and then the next one is what? The relationship. So the relationship is going to be what? What kind of relationship is it? It's going to be what? A style sheet. Because it links the relationship between what? The current document and what? The link resource. And then we have the type. So what type is it? Again, is a text. Okay, because again it's text. and the extension is what? CSS. And then we close this. Now, when we save this, and then we come here to our work, and then we refresh, this is what we have. See that now? So all the stress of what I went through, and most of you like, what? I said, Gerald, I'm in episode 7, and there's a way like this? No, no, no. It's why it's called a series. It's a series for a reason, so that you can actually learn. Okay? So this is very important. Okay. Task 14. Edit the web page that you have saved for task 13 so that the styles in the table head, and table data are removed and edited to become a new external style sheet called Ajiro Tech 3. Attach the style sheet to your web page. So now let's do this. Task 14. Task 14. Show yourself. Okay. All right. So, but let me know in the comment section if you're having a great time. Really. Right. So open with Microsoft Expression Web 4. So what we are doing here, they said what? It's a lot of work, but Ajiro Tech 3. Let's look at Ajiro Tech 3. .css really. So I'm going to open with Microsoft Expression Web. This is also Microsoft Expression Web. So here, let's look at the question again. They said remove and are removed and edited so that the styles in table head and table head and table details are removed. Okay, so it's probably going to be a lot of work. So what are we removing here? So let's remove some things here. So let's preview. That's what we're doing. Let's preview. So this is the work, right? Now for us to do this, so what we'll do here is, this is table. So I'm going to start with table with a curly bracket. So what's in for table for me? So I have border collapse. Now in your CSS there's no HTML, and you have what? Collapse. Semicolon. Now we need to separate this declaration with a semicolon. Remember, the properties, the property name and the value are separated with what? A colon. This is the property name, this is the property value. This is the property name, this is the value. And each declaration is separated with what? A colon. So what's the next one here? Task 14. I have what? Border. So here I can have border width. Okay. So here I can have what? Border width. Right. So border width is going to be 4 pixels. Semicolon. And I have what? Border style. This is going to be what? Solid. Yeah. It's still the same thing as doing. I know most of you are going to be like, Mr. Joe, you're starting again. Right? No, trust me. Right? It's still going to be the same thing here, literally. When we have 4 pixels, which is the border width. And again, please take note, it can always adjust. You can come here to do solid. Can you see that? It will always adjust. You can come here to do color. Right? It would always adjust. Watch this. It will always adjust. Okay, good. Hope you're learning. Yeah, so you can have 4 pixels, right? And then you have solid. It's the same thing, literally. Your border width and then border style. It's still going to work, literally. So, okay, it's fine. I see the eyes. It's fine, right? But it's just to make it work, just for you to learn, really. Okay, so the next one is background color. I see background color here. Okay, background color. So let me do that. And this for the table. So I have background. Remember the American spelling of colors. The hash here, FFFF00. Okay, I think that is all. I'll just put a semicolon and then close. Now the next one is what? They said what? Table head. So I'll probably do this here. TH, a space, TH, semicolon. Let me see what is there for TH.